Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be using the Woefully Whimsy palette by Andromedae and Unearthly, a collaboration. I'm quite excited to be using this palette. It's a pretty vibrant neutral, if we're going to go ahead and consider this a neutral palette with the grounding shades that we have here. I really like the brights that we have that's paired along with it. So we're going to go ahead and use, let's see, Gumdrop and Twister as our two main shades here. Gumdrop being the green, Twister being the black. And we are going to be using Carnival, Jawbreaker, and Funhouse as these three shimmer shades in the look. So to start off, we have About Face's Matte Fluid Eye Paint in White Noise. I'll be using that to try and kind of make the green pop. So we'll see how that goes. You guys are going to have to be telling me what's going on in the land of makeup. I've been off of social media for the past couple of weeks, and it's both for a good reason and both for a reason that you guys are gonna totally troll me for. I ended up okay, so actually prefacing, I don't really drink anything with caffeine, and oh my goodness, the past 2 weeks I've been consuming nothing but Red Bulls on an empty stomach, and it's caused a significant amount of just anxiety and feeling like something is going wrong. I guess that's still anxiety. But I didn't really realize that it was anxiety induced by caffeine until 2 weeks into drinking Red Bulls. I spent 31 years not drinking really any kinds of caffeine because I'm lazy and I grew up pretty poor. So why have anything caffeine based, you know? And now I get to laugh at myself because, dude, I was causing a 6 out of 10 anxiety. Okay, so I'm going into the shade Gumdrop. This is the shade Gumdrop. I'm going into the shade Gumdrop. And I'm going in on my inner corner, going midway through the lid. So I'll probably stop right towards the end of my pupil, iris. But anyway, back to the anxiety. Oh my god, I can't believe how much of a difference not consuming caffeine is. It's caused a significant amount of stress, and I'm kind of cackling a little bit internally as to how not well I was feeling and how simple of a solution was, you know? Heard my partner shushing the dogs, and now I'm overthinking what I'm talking about. Oh no. But I'm glad to have figured out what the solution was, which was to stop drinking caffeine basically altogether. My anxiety's been a lot better, and I'm really happy that I can focus again on makeup and hobbies, contacting friends, kind of stuff of that nature. But oh my gosh, I'm going into the shade Twister, this black here. I'm going in the outside corner, going in kind of a C shape, like a very soft C shape around the eyes. I'd like to leave a lot of the lid space open for the green. So we'll keep that. You guys are gonna have to tell me if you're sensitive to caffeine at all because oh my gosh, I can't believe it. That was like the most embarrassing thing that I've had to deal with. I didn't realize how sensitive I am to caffeine and how little of it that I actually need. So it kind of like makes me feel like I'm a weenie hut junior with the caffeine. But it's okay, you know? I'm gonna go a little bit on the lower lash line with the black. I will be going in with a black pencil on my waterline. And I'm going once again into the gumdrop shade to kind of buff this color out. And I'm going a little bit underneath my waterline on my eye bag with that green shade. I'll be going in with a setting spray and a little bit more of like a matte foundation. I just have this from Ulta. It's a, I want to say diamond gift, so we'll just keep that in with the rest of the products. Alright, so we're going back into the palette. I'm going to be using Carnival, Jawbreaker, and then Funhouse in that order, going up. So I'm using a little bit of Carnival. It kind of has like a pinkish, peachish color shift. I'm gonna use that as like the base for our inner corner. And I'm going into Jawbreaker. And layering that on top, we have like a blue and purple shifty look. And then I'm going into Funhouse right on top, which is a little bit more of like a blue ethereal type of shadow. And I'm using that to help shift onto the green on my lids. I will be going back into the palette into the shade Bubblegum, and I'll be using that as my blush. For someone who has a lighter skin tone like I do, it will be a color that'll show up pretty nicely. I tend to like using colors within the color story in the palettes that I'm using to try and create the blush tones, just because I think that it pairs really well and tends to look a little bit more cohesive. Partly because it's in the palette and it's supposed to look cohesive, and partly because I want to. So we have a little bit of like a little baby pink, a bubblegum pink. It's looking pretty cute. I'm going to bring that a little bit closer to my eyes so we don't have that kind of gap, you know? Going a little bit up with the blush. And on my nose as well to kind of carry out the color. I'll be going back into the shade of Funhouse as my highlighter. And then to finish off the shade, I have Ancient from Unearthly Cosmetics. I believe it's Menacing Metals. Just a little bit of Funhouse on my lips and upper lip. And then I'm going in a little bit with mascara. This is the finished look. We have a nice acid green with some shimmer that's a little bit multi-dimensional. A blue with kind of like a silver and a red toned shimmer. We have the shade Ancient. It's kind of like a copper with a blue toned on top. All in all, I'm really happy with this palette. I think it's a very fun neutral. It's like a light-tuned neutral palette with pops of color and shimmer. I'm really interested to try and create further looks with this. And I'm really happy with the formula with Unearthly. This is the third palette that I have from them. The shades have been consistent. It's been really consistent would be the word that I would use for Unearthly. I really appreciate the variety that they have with all of their palettes that they have, like the Smoke Shadow palette, and then they have like the Just Taste palette. Those are two unique different color stories alongside the Woefully Whimsy, which is a completely different color story, something much lighter, a lot more joyful, something a little bit more whimsical, which I can see why Woefully Whimsy is in the name. I definitely recommend this, especially if you do support Andromeda. They are a fantastic content creator. I really, really enjoy the types of looks and textures that Andromeda creates or they create. So if it's something that you would like to support in terms of a content creator and a brand, I'd say go for it. It's fun, it's colorful, there's shimmers, there's neutrals. I think you'd have a really fun time with it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it and appreciate the time that you spent here with me. If you're interested in seeing more looks with Unearthly or other indie brands, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be really interested to try. Hope you enjoy your day. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I'll see you later. Bye.